Your mind has become a 24-hour news channel, broadcasting nothing but catastrophe and impending doom. You are staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., calculating deficits that feel insurmountable while the shame of losing everything eats away at your spirit. You did not arrive here by accident. You arrived because your soul is finally ready to trade the illusion of control for the reality of divine peace. Tonight, we move beyond the pain of loss and discover the only way to permanently silence the scream of worry that has stolen your rest. This feeling of profound depletion, this existential exhaustion. It is perhaps the most difficult trial a human being can endure. It is not merely the loss of a physical object or the temporary setback of a failed venture. No, the loss we speak of is comprehensive. It is the loss of financial security that leaves you staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., calculating deficits that seem insurmountable, feeling the hot shame of being unable to meet the needs of those you cherish. It is the loss of a foundational relationship, the sudden, brutal realization that the anchor you thought was eternally set has been violently torn from the sea floor, leaving you adrift in a vast, cold ocean of isolation. It is the loss of health, that insidious thief that steals your energy, your mobility, and worst of all, your very expectation of a future defined by vitality, replacing it with the constant nagging ache of limitation. But the most devastating loss of all, my friends, is the loss of the internal landscape, the loss of hope, the loss of inner peace, the loss of the ability to simply rest. You have lost the silence in your own mind. That is the true catastrophe. Your mind has become a battlefield, a relentless 24-hour news channel, broadcasting nothing but catastrophe, regret, and impending doom. I know this journey well, for I have witnessed its devastating effects in countless souls, and perhaps tasted its bitterness myself. The worry, alham, is a master torturer. It does not allow you to live in the present moment. If you try to enjoy a meal, the worry presents the bill you cannot pay. If you try to laugh with a loved one, the worry reminds you of the inevitable separation. If you try to sleep, the worry pulls you violently back into the waking world, demanding that you relitigate every mistake of the past, demanding that you rehearse every potential disaster of the future. This is the cycle of paralyzing anxiety. It starts with the whisper of, if only. If only I had made a different choice. If only I had saved more. If only I had spoken differently. This obsessive review of the past robs you of your energy, transforming potential action into stagnant remorse. And then, seamlessly, it transitions into the scream of, what if? What if the market collapses? What if I fail this test? What if the worst possible scenario actually manifests? This projection into the future, fueled by fear, steals your capacity for gratitude in the now. You become a ghost, haunting the memories of yesterday and panicking over the specters of tomorrow, completely incapable of inhabiting the reality of today. This ceaseless mental activity manifests physically. You feel it as the knot of dread tightening perpetually in your stomach, that heavy, cold weight that never seems to lift. You feel it in the tension across your shoulders, as if you are physically carrying the weight of the entire world's uncertainty. You drink cup after cup of calming tea. You try every technique. You seek distraction. But the moment the distraction fades, the roaring engine of worry immediately restarts, pulling you back into the vortex. You feel isolated, don't you? Because the world demands resilience. It demands success. It demands a smiling face and a confident stride. When you have lost everything, including the internal mechanism for peace, you feel compelled to construct an elaborate facade. You smile, you nod, you offer platitudes, while internally, you are screaming for release. You feel that your struggle is unique, that no one could possibly understand the depth of the void created by this loss, this fear, this relentless toxic worry. You feel utterly and completely alone, a ship sinking slowly in the dark, watching the lights of the shore of normalcy and peace. recede further and further away. But I assure you, my dear friend, you are not alone in this dark valley. This very state of profound worry, this feeling of having reached the absolute zero point of personal capacity, is a universally shared human experience. It is the inevitable destination when we rely solely on our own strength, our own planning, our own fragile control over a universe that is inherently, beautifully, and sometimes terrifyingly uncontrollable. We have spent our lives building sandcastles, meticulously crafting structures of security and comfort, only to watch the tide of destiny come in and sweep them away, leaving us utterly exposed, vulnerable, and panicked. The great tragedy is that in our desperation to stop the worry, we often employ methods that only fuel it further. We try to control more. We micromanage every minute detail. We try to calculate every variable. We seek external assurances, more money, stronger walls, clearer contracts. But every time we try to tighten our grip on the reins of life, we only find that the reins are made of smoke, and the worry intensifies because we are fighting a battle for control that was never ours to win in the first place. This is the crucial realization, the moment of absolute surrender that precedes the breakthrough. You have tried to solve the worry problem using the same mind that created the worry problem. You have tried to stop the fear using the very mechanisms of control that the fear thrives upon. And now, you are exhausted. You are depleted. You have lost everything, including the energy to fight the internal battle. And it is precisely here, in this moment of utter, profound, and validated exhaustion, that the true path to tranquility begins. It is not found in fighting the worry, but in understanding its fundamental spiritual nature. The worry, my friends, is a signal. It is a desperate, loud alarm bell screaming that your reliance has been misplaced. It is the soul's cry for the only true refuge, the only immutable reality in a world of constant flux and decay. We must now turn away from the wreckage of the external world and look inward, upward, toward the source of all peace. For there is only one way, and I mean only one way, to permanently silence the incessant, draining, and paralyzing voice of worry. It is a path of profound spiritual reenactment, a radical shift in perspective that redefines the very essence of human existence and ownership. We must move beyond validating the pain and begin the journey of spiritual reenactment, moving from the pain of loss to the certainty of divine provision. This profound spiritual reenactment, my friends, is encapsulated in a single magnificent concept: Tawakkul. It is not merely hope, nor is it passive resignation, nor is it the foolish abandonment of effort. No, Tawakkul is the active, intelligent, and utterly comprehensive delegation of the outcome to the one who holds all outcomes in his hand. It is the deep, soul-shaking realization that we are not the owners of this life, but merely the temporary caretakers, the stewards, the managers of resources that belong entirely to the master of the universe. When we forget this fundamental truth, when we attempt to seize the reins of fate, we find our hands grasping only smoke, and the subsequent panic, the resulting anxiety, is the predictable anguish of a servant trying to perform the duties of the sovereign. The worry that consumes you is the direct product of misplaced ownership. You worry because you feel responsible for results that are utterly beyond your jurisdiction. You worry because you believe that the edifice of your life, the security of your future, rests upon the fragile scaffolding of your own finite intelligence, your limited resources, and your ephemeral strength. But how can finite strength bear infinite uncertainty? It cannot. It crumbles. It collapses into the despair you are currently experiencing. When we truly understand the nature of divine majesty, we realize that worry is, in essence, a subtle form of spiritual arrogance, a quiet insistence that I should have been able to control what only the Creator can control. We must dismantle this arrogance, brick by painstaking brick, by returning to the core promise of the divine, the ultimate guarantee that settles the heart and stills the mind. Before we move to the sacred words that can change your life, take a slow, deep breath. If your heart feels a flicker of light right now, it means you are exactly where you need to be. Consider subscribing to Eman Within so we can continue this journey of inner peace together. Turn with me now to the sacred text, to the words that are the balm for every affliction, the blueprint for every life lived in tranquility. The Holy Quran offers an assurance so complete, so expansive, that if we could truly absorb its meaning, the engine of worry would instantly cease. Consider the profound promise contained within Surah At-Talaq, verse 3, a verse often referred to as the verse of provision and reliance. And whoever relies upon Allah, He is sufficient for him. Indeed, Allah will accomplish His purpose. Allah has already set for everything a decreed extent. We must pause here, not just to read the translation, but to delve into the deep ocean of its meaning, its tafsir. The phrase, "He is sufficient for him," uses the Arabic root kafiyya. This is not a casual promise of assistance. It is an absolute, ironclad guarantee of comprehensive coverage. When the verse declares that Allah is kafi, sufficient, it means He assumes the responsibility for all the affairs of the reliant soul. If you delegate your greatest fear, your most pressing need, your most complex problem to the Infinite assumes that burden. And when the Infinite assumes the burden, how can the finite mind continue to fret? The worry is rendered illogical, utterly obsolete. Imagine, if you will, being an apprentice architect working on a colossal, complex structure. You are given a small corner to manage, perhaps a single load-bearing wall, but you look at the entire skyscraper, the logistics, the materials, the foundation, and you panic. You lose sleep over the concrete mix for the 80th floor, a floor you have never even seen. The master architect, observing your distress, gently reminds you, your job is merely to lay these 5 bricks today with diligence and care. The stability of the entire structure is my responsibility. I own the blueprints, I own the land, I own the materials, and I command the engineers. If a storm comes, will your 5 bricks hold the building? No, my power holds the building. Therefore, your worry about the structural integrity of the whole is a misplaced emotion. Focus on the 5 bricks and trust my comprehensive design. This is the essence of Tawakkul. We are commanded to tie the camel, to take every reasonable, intelligent, and ethical action within our finite capacity. But then, the moment the action is complete, we must surrender the outcome, the result, the consequence, to the master. We do not stop working. We stop worrying about the work. We transform from anxious owners trying to control destiny into diligent stewards performing our duty, knowing that the ultimate success or failure rests in a hand far wiser and more capable than our own. To truly grasp the transformative power of this surrender, we must look to the lives of those who demonstrated this reliance at the ultimate edge of human endurance. Consider the monumental story of Prophet Abraham, the father of monotheism, the friend of God, upon whom be peace. Abraham stood alone against the tyranny and idolatry of his time, against the mighty king Namrud and his entire civilization. His reliance was tested not by a lost contract or a financial downturn, but by the very jaws of physical annihilation. When Abraham challenged the false deities and shattered the idols in the temple, Namrud, consumed by rage and spiritual blindness, commanded the ultimate punishment: death by fire. Not a small fire, but a massive, terrifying conflagration. The people gathered wood for days, creating a pit so vast and a blaze so intense that they could not approach it directly. They had to use a catapult to throw the prophet into the raging inferno. Imagine the scene, the tremendous heat shimmering across the desert air, the dense black smoke obscuring the sky, the roaring sound of the flames consuming thousands of cords of wood. The hostile, fearful crowd gathered to witness the destruction of the man who dared to challenge their gods. Ibrahim was bound, helpless, placed on the catapult. He was facing certain, agonizing death. It was in this precise, final moment of utter human incapacity that the archangel Gabriel, descended, appearing before him in the air, asking the crucial question that defines the spiritual state of every believer. "O Ibrahim, do you need any help from me?" This was the ultimate test of Tawakkul. Here was a guaranteed, immediate, physical escape route, offered by the most powerful created being in existence. Ibrahim looked at the angel, looked at the fire roaring before him, and responded with the profound depth of a soul entirely at peace with its creator. "As for you, O Jibril, I have no need of you. But as for him, he knows my state. His knowledge of my condition is sufficient for me." He did not ask for the fire to be extinguished. He did not beg for rescue. He did not plead for a miracle. He simply declared his reliance, uttering the immortal words that have since become the refuge of the worried and the distressed. Hasbuna Allahu wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for us, and He is the best disposer of affairs. The moment those words left his lips, the surrender was complete. He was launched into the heart of the flames. And what happened next is the physical manifestation of the spiritual truth of Tawakkul. The divine command descended upon the fire, reversing its very nature. "O fire, be coolness and safety upon Ibrahim." The fire did not merely lessen, it transformed. It became coolness, Bardan, and safety, Salaman. The very elements of the universe shifted their physical properties to honor the spiritual certainty of one man's reliance. He sat in the middle of the inferno as if in a beautiful garden. The ropes that bound him burned away, but his body and clothes untouched. The external chaos, the roaring heat, the impending death, was utterly neutralized by the internal peace derived from absolute surrender. This is the lesson for you, my worried friend. Your worry is your fire. It is the raging external and internal threat that seeks to consume your peace. You have tried to fight the fire with your own human water, with endless planning, with distracting activities, with desperate attempts at control. But your water evaporates instantly in the heat of uncertainty. The only thing that can quench this existential fire is the divine command, and that command is only issued when the heart is entirely surrendered. When you declare, Hasbuna Allah, you are telling the universe, I have done my part, I have tied my camel, and now I delegate the outcome of this loss, this fear, this uncertainty, this financial disaster, this relationship challenge, entirely to the one who manages the sun, the moon, and the tides. You are essentially telling your worry, your jurisdiction over my heart has ended. I am no longer fighting you. I am trusting the architect. The worry thrives on the illusion of control. Tawakkul is the realization that true control lies in relinquishing the false reins and trusting the true controller. It is the recognition that the hand that sustains the heavens is more than capable of sustaining your single, fragile existence. This radical shift, from ownership to stewardship, from anxiety to active delegation, is the only mechanism powerful enough to permanently dismantle the mental fortress of fear and worry that has imprisoned you. It is the beginning of reclaiming your capacity for peace, not by finding new strength within yourself, but by tapping into the infinite strength that surrounds and sustains all creation. But how, you ask, do I implement this massive cosmic truth into the small, mundane, and often crushing realities of my Tuesday morning? How do I move from the grandeur of Ibrahim's fire to the reality of my looming bills, my deteriorating health, or the agonizing silence in a broken relationship? The transition from theological realization to practical application is the final, essential step in dismantling the cage of worry. It requires a discipline of the heart, a spiritual training that mirrors the physical training of an athlete. Understand, my friend, that tawakkul is not passive resignation. It is not folding your hands and waiting for manna to fall from the sky. That is laziness. And laziness is a disease of the soul, not a sign of reliance. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, taught us this crucial duality when he asked the Bedouin, "Why do you not tie your camel?" The Bedouin replied, "I have placed my trust in Allah." The Prophet corrected him immediately, saying, "Tie your camel and then place your trust in Allah." This simple instruction holds the entire methodology of effective living, the meticulous execution of the means, asbab, followed by the absolute delegation of the result, tawakkul. Your action, your effort, your planning, your striving, these are not optional preliminaries. They are the very definition of your worship. When you are worried about your financial state, your asbab is to budget rigorously, to seek legitimate employment, to save diligently. When you are worried about your health, your asbab is to eat nourishing food, to move your body, to seek expert medical advice. You must exert every fiber of your human capability, meticulously planning, executing with precision, treating the effort itself as a sacred act of worship, understanding that the quality of our striving is the measure of our sincerity, regardless of the immediate, tangible return. We are commanded to sow the seed, to water the soil, to provide the best possible conditions for growth. That is our duty. But the sun, the rain, the germination, the harvest, the outcome, that belongs entirely to the Creator. The true practice of tawakkul begins the moment your effort ends, or the moment your effort is met with an unexpected roadblock. It is at the point of exhaustion, or failure, or fear, that you consciously deploy your spiritual armor, the constant conscious declaration of Hasbuna Allahu wa ni'mal wakil. This is not merely a phrase to be mumbled. It is a spiritual mantra, a sword that severs the chain of anxious thought. When the worrying thought attempts to invade your mind, the thought that says, "What if the interview fails? What if the diagnosis is terrible? What if I never recover this loss?" You must immediately, verbally or internally, interject with the declaration, Hasbuna Allah. You are training your mind, which has become accustomed to dwelling in the future's dark possibilities, to retreat instantly to the safety of the present moment and the certainty of divine management. This is the spiritual discipline. Every time you redirect your fear to this declaration, you reinforce the understanding that the universe is not chaotic, it is governed. The moment you declare, "He is sufficient for me," you are taking the burden of control off your own frail shoulders and placing it onto the omnipotent, omniscient manager of all affairs. This is the profound, immediate benefit, the cessation of the double burden. The person who worries without tawakkul carries two crushing weights, the burden of the effort and the terrifying burden of the outcome. They exhaust themselves striving, and then they exhaust themselves worrying about whether the striving will be enough. The person who practices tawakkul carries only the burden of the effort. They strive diligently, knowing their duty is only the action, and the result, good or seemingly bad, is already handled by the one whose wisdom encompasses everything. This radical reduction in mental load liberates vast amounts of emotional energy that was previously consumed by paralyzing fear. This liberation allows you to experience the profound spiritual benefit known as Rida, contentment with the divine decree. This is the ultimate antidote to worry. Worry is the rejection of the present reality. Rida is the embrace of it. When you achieve Rida, you realize that the setback, the loss, the difficulty you are facing is not merely arbitrary suffering, but a carefully calibrated training designed specifically for the elevation of your soul. You begin to see the hidden mercy, lutf, woven into the apparent hardship. Consider the great prophet Ayub, Job, peace be upon him, a man of immense wealth, health, and family, who lost everything in swift succession. His body was afflicted with a terrible disease. His wealth vanished. His children perished. He was left with nothing but his faith and his wife. For years, he endured this unimaginable trial. Did he worry? Did he fret and complain about the unfairness of his fate? No, he maintained Rida. He understood that the giver had the absolute right to take back what was given. His famous supplication was not a scream of panic, but a gentle appeal born of acceptance. Indeed, adversity has touched me, and you are the most merciful of the merciful ones. Quran 21:83. He did not command healing, he merely stated his condition and affirmed the nature of his Lord. Because his reliance was absolute, his reward was absolute, his health was restored, his wealth doubled, and his family returned to him. His story is not just about patience. It is the definitive proof that true peace is found not in the absence of affliction, but in the certainty of the afflictor's wisdom. When you practice tawakkul, you are essentially saying, "My Lord, if this outcome is good for my dunya, this world, and my akhirah, the hereafter, then make it easy for me. But if this desired outcome contains ruin, pain, or distraction for my soul, then turn it away from me, and grant me contentment with what you have chosen, for your choice is always superior to my limited desire." This is the peace that surpasses all understanding. It is the realization that you are held securely in a vast, compassionate plan, and therefore, there is nothing left to fear. The worry stops because the ownership of the problem has been transferred to the one who cannot fail. So, let us make this commitment now. Let us rise above the suffocating smoke of anxiety and step into the cool, safe garden of reliance. Let us pledge to be diligent in our efforts, to tie the camel with the strongest rope we possess, and then, immediately, to declare our absolute and unconditional delegation of the result. Let this be the day we stop trying to be the CEO of the universe and humbly accept the role of faithful steward. Let this be the moment we trade the illusion of control for the reality of divine sustenance. Now, lift your hands, my beloved friend, and let us supplicate, asking the one who manages the affairs of the worlds to manage our small, troubled hearts. Let the words of our dua be the final seal upon this contract of surrender and reliance. O Allah, O turner of hearts, make our hearts firm upon your religion and upon the path of absolute reliance on you. We stand before you now, confessing our weakness, our chronic inclination toward worry, and our failure to fully trust in your infinite wisdom. We confess that we have often mistaken our own limited planning for true control, leading us only into exhaustion and fear. O reliever of distress, O answerer of the distressed when they call upon you, we have heard the story of Ibrahim, your intimate friend, and we recognize the depth of surrender required. Grant us, by your grace, a portion of the faith that allowed him to stand serene amidst the roaring flames. Grant us the certainty that caused the fire to become coolness and safety. Transform the fires of our worry, our financial fears, our health anxieties, and our personal uncertainties into the deep, refreshing peace of tawakkul. O Lord, we have tied our camels. We have exerted our maximum effort in our affairs, in our work, in our relationships, and in our struggle for piety. Now, we declare before your majesty that our effort is done, and the outcome is entirely in your hands. We delegate every result, every consequence, every future moment to your perfect management. Hasbuna Allahu wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for us, and He is the best disposer of affairs. Let this declaration be the constant shield against the whisperings of Satan and the anxieties of the ego. O most generous, if there is a debt that weighs heavily upon our shoulders, remove it from us by your grace and provision. If there is a sickness that afflicts our bodies, heal it with a healing that leaves no trace of illness. If there is a relationship that is broken, mend it with the glue of mercy and understanding. And if these things are decreed to remain, then grant us the supreme gift of Rida, contentment, so that we may see the blessing hidden within the burden. O Allah, we ask you for a faith that does not waver, and a certainty that reaches the level of true reliance. Do not leave us to ourselves, even for the blink of an eye, for we are utterly lost without your guidance and support. Make us among those who, when they lose, say, "Indeed to Allah we belong, and to Him we shall return," knowing that the loss is only temporary and the true reward awaits. Forgive our shortcomings, purify our intentions, and grant us the immense tranquility that comes only from knowing we are your servants, managed and sustained by your love. Make our ending the best of our deeds, and make the day we meet you the happiest day of our lives. Ameen. And all praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of all creation. Thank you for sitting with us in this moment of reflection. If these words brought comfort to your soul, please share this video with one person who is struggling to find peace tonight. Remember, your journey of faith begins within, and you are always held by the one who never sleeps. Until we meet again, may your heart remain in the garden of certainty. Peace be upon you.